Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Neva and this is Reading with Neva, and today it's that time of year again. Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Neva and today we are doing my January and February TBR. Unfortunately, due to some technical difficulties, we will not be having the Gilmore Girls TBR game as I usually would be doing for January and February. It's just going to be this lovely stack of books you can see just off frame of what I'm hoping / planning to read for January and February. In March, the game will be coming back and it will be revamped, so watch out for that. But today we're just going to talk about this stack of books that I have here. Some of these are for read-alongs or book clubs, and some of them are just books that I need to read off my shelf. One of my goals for 2023 is to not personally buy as many books. Obviously there will probably be gifted books and things like that, but I do really want to just try to read what is on my shelf or get things from the library. So I have this stack of books, and then off to the side here, if you see me looking over, I do have a list of books on my computer as well that are Libby scribed, or like Libby audio scribed, or Kindle Unlimited. I guess a couple of these are also like Libby ebooks, so if they're ebooks or audiobooks, they're in their own list. So we'll start with all of the physical books. So the first one I have is Catherine House by Elizabeth Thomas. This is the Bessie's Book Club pick for January. This was picked by Reni, and I believe our live show is on the 29th at 1 p.m. I'll link everything down below so y'all know what is happening. But yes, so Catherine House, this is a dark academia thriller horror book. It has culty vibes to it. I don't know, I'm just gonna preface this, I don't know a ton about any of these books. I tend to go into books very blind, but I'm very excited to read this. It's been on my TBR since 2022, so I'm glad that Reni picked this book. So that is the first one. That is Catherine House. The next book on my list is a buddy read with my friend Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading, and that is Babel. We kind of went back and forth whether this was Babel or Babel. However, I am immersion reading this with the going to be immersion reading this with the audiobook. So this is Babel, as in Tower of Babel. So that is what this is. This is a very big book. I don't really know what to say about this. I got this through Book of the Month in December, so I don't know. I've been told that it reads like a textbook, which makes a lot of sense. I've listened to a little bit of the audiobook, and it definitely does read like a textbook, but this is about, I don't know what this is about, honestly. I believe it's supposed to be historical fiction or historical fantasy. I'm not sure, but I'm very excited to read this. This has also been on my TBR for a while. I know that some people have DNF'd this, and this is R.F. Kuang. She also wrote the Poppy War series, which is also on my TBR. So hoping to read that this year as well. The next one on my TBR for January and February is The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. This is also a Bessie's Book Club pick, but this is our March pick. So I need to get it read by the end of February so that we can do our March live show, but that's what this is. This is a like murder mystery type book, not to be confused with The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. They're two different books, but this is like, think like Clue. It's like a murder mystery, and Evelyn Hardcastle will die every day over and over and over again until she figures out who is trying to kill her. That's all I know about this book. The next one has been sitting on my TBR since the beginning of my YouTube channel, which would have been May of 2022, and that is Book of Night by Holly Black. This was included in like my first ever like Walmart haul that I think I did through like Sprint or something. This is an adult fantasy book. However, I've been told that it reads extremely YA. I have read a little teeny tiny bit. You can see some tabs in here. And it definitely reads YA. So I went into this knowing that it would read YA. But Holly Black also wrote like the Cruel Prince books, that series. So this was her like adult debut. The next two are for the Besties Book Club read along, and that is The Assassin's Blade and Throne of Glass. Now, Throne of Glass, if I don't get to it in January or February, that's fine, but I do need to read The Assassin's Blade because this is the read-along book for February. So I believe there will be like an official announcement actually a few days after you see this video go up. And The Assassin's Blade is the novellas, so we've chosen to read them in that order because that's what a lot of people that are like huge fans of the series have said to do. So we're reading The Assassin's Blade first. This is 5 novellas that were originally like individual, and then they were all made into a nice bind up. And I don't know really a lot about Throne of Glass. I know that it's YA fantasy and this series is complete. That's really all that I know. I don't know like a ton. Like I said, I like to go into books blind. And then the next one that we are going to be reading, this is actually for April, and this is Throne of Glass, which is the first full-length book in the Throne of Glass series. So if I don't get to this one until March, that's perfectly fine. So you might see this again on the March-April TBR. But yeah, this says fans of Game of Thrones and the Hunger Games will love it. So I'm hoping to love it because I've read part of Game of Thrones and I love the Hunger Games. So there we go. The next two are also series. So we have Legendborn, which you can see I'm about halfway through. I started my reread of Legendborn in November, right before I hit a slump, and planned on reading Bloodmarked on release day, but that did not happen because I had not finished my reread of Legendborn. So I want to finish my reread of Legendborn and then move on to Bloodmarked. I hope to get both of these done by the end of February. The next one that we have is Little Doves. I actually have already read through this once. I'm going to be rereading it so I can write a review, but this is an arc by Sarah Ennis. It comes out on January the 10th, and I'm super excited for this. Yeah, super excited for this. So this is Little Doves. Very excited for Little Doves. Okay, so this is a psychological thriller. I don't really know how to talk about Sarah Ennis books without ruining them, so I'm not going to. So that's it. This comes out on January the 10th. So go check it out if you want. You can get it off of Amazon or off of her. You'll be able to get it off of Amazon, I'm pretty sure, or off of her website. So you're welcome. I think I said this, but this is an ARC copy. The next one I have is The Last Invitation by Darby Kane. This is another one that I planned on reading on release day, but was in the middle of a slump when it was delivered to my house. So this is the newest book by Darby Kane. It is a standalone. It is a psychological thriller. I don't really know a lot about it because, again, I go into everything blind. But as far as I know, this is about like a secret society of women, I believe. I did read a little bit of this on release day and then slump. So there you go. But as far as I know, this is about like a secret society of women that you can get into, but you can't get out of it. So that's fun. And the last physical book on my TBR is The Priory of the Orange Tree. This is also going to be a buddy read with my friend Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading. She's a big boy. Okay, she's big. All right, I do have the audio for this as well. I will be immersion reading this. However, just a caveat, the audio is only available through Audible, so I used a whole credit for this book. I'm hoping to love this book. I know not a lot of people, but a few people that completely just DNF'd this, but I'm hoping to love it, you know, because I want to tab it and make it look pretty and everything like that. But it is a humongous book, so, and I mean, it looks a lot bigger than it actually is. I think it's like 800 pages. Yeah, 800 pages. So yeah, 804 readable pages. So it's a chunk, okay? It's chunky, but I'm hoping to love this book. So moving on now to our audio and ebooks. I have In a Dark, Dark Wood, from which I borrowed from the library. I will put pictures up somewhere here. So In a Dark, Dark Wood is I believe it's by Ruth Ware. That is the B&K book club, which is my friends Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading and Kelsey. They have a Discord book club, and that is their January pick. So yeah, by the time this video goes out, we've already started reading it, and it's fine so far. Like, I don't really have a lot of thoughts, but it is a thriller, I believe. I think Ruth Ware only writes thrillers, and it's fine so far. Like, there's nothing to really write home about, but it's not, like, terrible either. So that is the first one. The next one I have is From Blood and Ash. This is a read-along with Hannah Blackwell and a few other YouTubers that I'm going to participate in. I have not started this book yet. I need to, okay? But I got it from the library, so it is an ebook. That's From Blood and Ash. The next two that I have are part of a series, and I'm in a large, like, Instagram buddy read for that, group buddy read for that, and that is Zodiac Academy books 1 and 2. We're currently reading book 1. We started it, like, at the very beginning of the year, and I don't know how I'm feeling about it, to be honest. It feels very campy to me. It feels like it's trying really hard, and I'm not really vibing with it at the moment, but I'm hoping that it gets better. I've been told that when you have to get to, like, book 3 before it really picks up, and I don't know if I have the capacity for that, but I'm willing to try. The next one that I have is Project Hail Mary. This is an Audible book. You can only get the audio through Audible. This is for a project, so I'm not going to talk about it a lot, but I'm very excited to get to Project Hail Mary very soon. I'm probably going to actually start it here, like, next week, just because, so in, like, the 3rd week of January, just because it's something that Andy Weir, at least when I listened to The Martian, it was something that I could listen to and absorb without, like, really paying attention, if that makes sense. Like, everything still made sense to me. The next one that I have will be a physical book for me, but I don't have it yet because it's not yet been released, and that is Finley Donovan Jumps the Gun, which is the 3rd book in the Finley Donovan series. I have the first 2 books up there on my shelf. I'll show them to you. So the first 2 books are Finley Donovan is Killing It and Finley Donovan Knocks Him Dead. I've read both of these, love them, but I pre-ordered both the audio and the physical book for Finley Donovan Jumps the Gun, so that will be coming. I believe it releases on January 17th, so can't wait for that. I will be reading that on release day. Like, everything's getting dropped, and a group of us are reading that together. The next one that I have is Anastasia. I started this in December when it came out. I started on release day, but again, I hit a slump at the end of the year, so I never finished it. This is on Kindle Unlimited. You can buy it as a physical book as well. It is by Sophie Lark. It is her newest book. It is pretty chunky. It's like a 600-page book, but it is, like, fantasy romance, and there's, like, magic in it, and it's based off of, like, Anastasia. Like, what we think of as, like, the movie of Anastasia is based off of that, and over 100 pages of the book are fully illustrated, so take that into consideration if you buy this as a physical book as well. The next one I have is Secluded Cabin Sleep 6. This is the January pick for the Cats Book Nerds book club that I participate in, and it's the January pick. I will be listening to that off of Scribd. Unfortunately, in my library, I tried to get it from the library, but the hold for physical and ebook copies is just, like, astronomical, so I was able to find it through Scribd. The next one I have is Us Before You. My friend Kelsey and I will be reading this at the end of January. This is the 2nd book in the Beartown series, which I cannot hold up Beartown for you because it's currently on loan to my friend Adam. I gave it to him so he could read it after he gifted me A Man Called Uwe, which I read at the end of 2022. That was my final book of 2022. Great book. So Us Before You, that is the second book in the Beartown series, and my friend Kelsey and I are buddy reading that together. So excited for that. It's a 5-star prediction for me because Beartown was 5 stars. And then the last book that I have is called Monsters Are Weak. This is a Kindle book that I was gifted by my friend Reni. Her mother wrote this book, and I will be reading it because I said I would read it. So I'm very, very excited for that. But those are all of the books that I have for January and February. I've decided for 2023 that I will be doing bi-monthly TBRs. It's just too much for me to keep up with monthly TBRs. I feel like it overwhelms me and then I don't get things read. Also, by doing it this way, I can mood read a little bit more but know what I'm trying to pick up, if that makes sense. It gives me structure but also freedom. So that's what we're doing. That's where we're at. There's quite a few books on this list. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So about 21 books on this list of potential books that I would like to get done. I'm trying to figure out exactly how like punishments and stuff will work with the revamped game in March. I want to go ahead and try to get this up for you guys as soon as possible. Unfortunately, I lost half my footage the first time and then technical issues happened and I couldn't do the rolls for my game. Okay, so these are all of my physical books for 2023, January and February of 2023, plus of course I have a few Kindle books and audiobooks to top it all off. Also, some of these will be immersion read just because I can. So yeah, that's it. That's all I've got, honestly. But some of these will be immersion read if I can find the audios or if I have already purchased the audios, like for Prior with Orange Tree. And that's really all that I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for coming back. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed and the bell button so that you can be notified of any new videos that I have coming out. I have big plans for 2023, so hopefully y'all will stick around. Down below in the description bar, there are always links there. There are links for how I read, where I get books from, different resources for, you know, Black Lives Matter, being anti-racist, because that's still important in 2023. And also I have a few of my friends that are linked below as well that either have channels or Bookstagram accounts, so go follow them if that's something that you're interested in. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!